this week because of Epstein in there. And what is your reaction to it?
Well, we have to wait for the courts to reply to PM Bondi with her request to unseal that information. Unfortunately, no one can speed that up. So,
Are you okay with the pause for now before the Republican resolution is voted on?
I think it's the right thing to do. I think everyone wants to see, the information that was sealed away. I think the American people want to see it. I'm a co-sponsor of Thomas Massey's resolution. I'm all for voting on it. I'm all for transparency. So, but we just have to be a little patient for it.
Have you talked to the president at all about this issue? And has he explained to you kind of where he's coming from and his mindset around it?
I haven't talked to him on this specific issue. The last time I talked with him was last week about my concerns on the Genius Act, basically having that open door to a central bank digital currency, which I think is extremely dangerous. And the American people are radically opposed to that on both sides of the aisle. I think that's like an 80% or higher issue. Everyone wants to control their money. And it's scary to think about. You can't hold your money, you can't hide your money, you can't use your own money to buy and sell, and that it could be converted to a digital currency that in the hands of some future administration can be controlled. And I think that's terrifying to people. And that was what I was talking about.
You tweeted yesterday, no one wants people want the whole steak dinner.
Yes.
Not like little bits won't be enough. I interpreted that as like the Pam Bondi thing is not enough. Like you want the whole thing.
That my criticism wasn't directed at Pam Bondi. My criticism there is anyone in the administration, everyone throwing out little pieces of red meat to get the base worked up over something when there's never going to be accountability.
But do you think this
if there's a crime,
Pam Bondi in the court?
No, I want to say if there's crimes have been committed, no matter who they are, if there's no justice and no accountability, people are going to get sick of it. It's like, stop telling me about crimes if you're not going to do anything about it. And that's where people largely are. My issue is this. People can't afford health insurance. They can't afford car insurance. They can't afford rent. They can't afford to buy a house. Those are the problems we need to be fixing. And I'm just saying, stop throwing out, here, look at this crime 10 years ago.
Right.
Why do you think they're doing that?
I have no idea.
Do you think Trump is concerned that he will be implicated somehow if it all comes out?
I don't think so. If President Trump was guilty of something with Epstein, then the Democrats would have drugged him for the past 4 years. Or you know what? They would have drugged him earlier. It wouldn't have been Russia collusion. It would have been Jeffrey Epstein. Mm-hmm. And so I don't see him being guilty of anything there. I don't see him being in danger of anything there. It doesn't make sense to me. The same Democrats literally arrested him. They've impeached him twice. They went after his businesses. They tried to destroy the men. They raided Mar-a-Lago. Why wouldn't they have brought out the Jeffrey Epstein?
And how do you feel like Johnson is handling this Epstein matter in the House? It has been, do you feel like he's been fighting for transparency enough for your taste or not?
I don't like the resolution that was passed out of the Rules Committee. It has no teeth in it.
Right.
It's basically meritless. It just is like, oh, look at us. We're saying release it.
Right.
I think PM Bondi is following the right course, asking for the court to unseal those files. Mm-hmm. And now she's directed Todd Blanche to go and talk to, I never say her name, Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah. I think that's the right thing to do. Can we trust what she says? No, that's another question.
Right.
This is a woman. She's in prison. Her case is on appeal. Is she
trustworthy?
Yeah, she may be bartering for something.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Those are questions that should be asked.
Right. Do you think that this could be a political issue for Republicans or just Trump generally? If it's not dealt with, then is that what I'm hearing?
I think all of it is a political issue. Not only for the president's not running again.
Right, yeah, but just
for him. But for Republicans, yes. You can ask my colleagues. They are getting beaten up at home in their district.
That's the next question.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
So people you think do care about this issue?
I can tell you this. Since I've been a freshman member of Congress, and I think this is fascinating, I've tracked the calls in my office. I have a whole spreadsheet that my staff that answers the phones. They track all the calls coming in district, they track all the calls coming out of district, and we have categories of issues ranging from maybe former issues to current issues. And we track what they're calling about. The call volume on Epstein it's almost been 100% Epstein since this started, in district and out of district, and they are demanding transparency.
And the volume is high.
Very high.
Crazy.
Very high.
You can feel the
It's extremely high. So that's calls coming into my offices, both offices, district and DC. And then on top of that, what you're seeing online, and I think that's something to pay attention to. If you look at everybody's social media posts and you go in comments, they won't even comment about what the post is about. They're going to say, release the files. I think it's a big issue.
What do you think of Speaker Johnson's handling of this, saying that you need to give the administration time to do this?
I had just answered that. I think me and Bondi, what she is asking for is important. That's up to the court. She can't control that. We can't control that.
And last thing on this subject, it seems like the House is kind of shutting down for the week because rules on Epstein. Like, what do you think that's?
I'll tell you my complaint on this is since Mike Johnson became Speaker, I forgive me, I should know this count. He's had us vote on 5, 6, 7 CRs. I don't know. I can't even count now. To me, that is the bigger story, is why isn't a Republican-controlled House passing our appropriation bills? And when it comes to September 30th, I said it this morning, I am not voting for a CR. I see that as utter failure. Because here's why. So in my district, there's serious projects that need funded, appropriation requests that are important for people, Republican, Democrat, Independent, people that don't even vote. These projects are important for people, and they're taxpayers. And why are we getting that done? Like water projects that are important, road projects that are important for our economic development. I have a rural district. That's incredibly important.
Why is the Freedom Caucus okay with the CR right now after demanding no more CRs and kicking McCarthy out in large part because of it?
Well, thank God I'm not a member of Freedom Caucus
I know, but I'm wondering if you could explain.
I can't explain it. I don't think they've accomplished much lately. If you look, they put up a big fight, send about a bunch of fundraising emails on it, and then end up folding and getting nothing. So I don't think that accomplished anything.
And can you clarify, the CR, if they do a CR again, it would still be Biden numbers, right? Because it's a CR from last year. It's a CR from this year, which is a CR from last year.
So it's not only Biden numbers, and that's one piece of it, but it's also policy, specific funding for specific issues and departments, and it's everything. It's the entire Democrat agenda. And then we're going to be asked to vote on that again, but the American people voted for Republicans to have control. So
did you guys talk about approps in there?
yeah, they talked about how the Appropriations Committee is doing several markups and continuing, but we haven't why are we going out on August recess if we haven't finished appropriations? It's ridiculous. We're going to come back in September and have 3 weeks to get it done. Like, no, that's not going to happen.
Did you say in there?
Because they're not giving us any input, too. That's another thing. Do you think I'm going to vote for foreign aid? Hell no, I'm not voting for foreign aid. And, you know, there's going to be a big fight for us that are fiscally conservative and see the $37 trillion in debt is existential for all of us. And you're going to see us being like, no, we're not going to spend this much money. So to think that we can finish appropriations in the last 3 weeks without any input, we've seen it before. But it's, I think it's utter failure, and I'm willing to say that now. It's utter failure in leadership. There was no excuse for appropriations not to get their work done over the summer. Like, no, I run a company. I've run a company for 22 years. I ran my company. You cannot fully say in leadership, oh, we ran out of time, or we just sit. No, that's bullshit. On a job site, you don't run out of time, you get the work done. And it's hard for me as a woman who has worked hard in the business world in a male-dominated industry, which is construction, for me to be under leadership that can't get it done. I'm sorry, as a woman, I can't accept that from men.
When you said you were not going to vote for a CR, did you say that in the meeting in there? When you said you said that this morning?
I walked in and told them to their faces.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to handle it.
Okay.
Are there other colleagues who agree with you and hold a similar position?
I have no idea. I'm sure that they may quietly agree. I don't know if they're willing to do it. I'm willing to do it. I was the only no vote on the rule last week because I think that crypto legislation was rushed through. We were pressured by the White House. Johnson couldn't stand up and say, no, we need to get this right. It was a complete lie that the CBDC will be passed, and the the ban on CBDC will be passed in the Senate. It will not. They told us in every meeting that it won't pass in the Senate, but yet they rushed it through anyway. So I was a no vote last week on the rule. I cannot bend on the CR, but I imagine they'll try to attach shiny objects to the CR, like, oh, Marjorie, we're going to give you some more security funding for your personal security. I have an active death threat right now, so maybe they'll try that with me, or try something else to try to get Republicans to vote for the CR. But
Congresswoman, are you hearing from any
Yeah.
constituents
Thank you.
about your position opposing aid to Israel? What has the response in your district been?
I haven't gotten any blowback really, and I'm sure there is a percentage of people there that think that that we have to stand with Israel on anything and everything. But my position is that's not true when it comes to a war that's murdering people, innocent people. I don't think that's Christians' responsibility. And I'm a Christian. I pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I support the Jewish people, but as far as what Netanyahu and that government, secular government, because we need to draw that line, it's a secular government. And as far as what they're continuing to do, I think it's completely out of line. And this isn't out of character for me. From the beginning, since I've been in Congress in 2021, I have been radically opposed to foreign wars. And I have support from veterans all over my district because of that, because they live with the effects of America's nonstop foreign wars. And you can talk to anybody involved at the VA and terrible issues that veterans constantly deal with. 22 suicides a day. This comes from America's nonstop foreign wars, and we've had enough of it. And I think what's happened. Okay, October 7th, horrific. I can stand there and yell all day long. That's the most awful thing that we've seen in recent times. But what's continuing to happen in Gaza? Horrific. Innocent children being killed, innocent people being killed, now Christian churches being bombed, equally horrific. So I don't think America should be funding that. And then you got to come to this. Israel has government-funded health care. Israel has government-funded college tuition. But we're $37 trillion in debt. And Israel is a nuclear-armed nation. So why do Americans have to continue to pay them billions of dollars every year? And I think that's just a common sense, rational line of thought.
Have you spoken with President Trump about this at all, the war in Gaza?
No, I haven't spoken with him specifically on that. I have urged him privately to stick with the campaign promises of no more foreign wars. We need world peace. We have to end this. This is what people voted for. They voted for no more foreign wars. So that's been my urging.
One more question. At aid distribution sites in Gaza recently, people have been being shot by the IDF. I wonder if you've been following that, if you feel like the United States has a role to play there.
I've seen those reports, and if that's true, that's horrible. It's tragic. Again, I'm opposed to the whole thing. So that's my stance.
Sorry, apologies if you already addressed this, but is there a path forward for the conference for a rule this week, given what's going on with Epstein stuff with the Democrats?
I don't think they have a path, or they're not choosing a path. I'll say it that way. They're not choosing a path. I gotta go though.
Yeah, is it unlikely you guys have any rule legislation on the floor this week?
Not that I know of. Let's see. Okay, I gotta
Can I
go.
walk with you for a second? I just talked with that about the CR. I saw your tweet, and I noticed some members have started to call for a full CR, and you are against that. Is there any world in which that gets across in the House, and why are members calling for that?
I can't comprehend it. Well, under Mike Johnson, ever since he's become speaker, all he has passed is CRs. And there's no excuses now. We're coming up on August. We've had the full year to pass our appropriations. And here's another thing. Our districts deserve it. You want to know why? There's important water projects, road projects, things that are very important just for our districts. And when we pass another CR, excuse me, that means that we don't fund those appropriation requests. And I think that's a failure, like literally a failure. So I'm not voting for a CR. I'm just not.